Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local. So let's move on to the kind of third topic and final topic of this fascinating session, which is, well, it's not sarcasm. I'm not, may have sounded like that, but it's not sarcasm. So you recently wrote an article this week, I think it was this week, entitled "Don't Put" on the Bright Local blog. Don't put all your eggs in Google's basket beyond the Google monopoly. If you're investing very, very heavily in trying to get GBP in the knowledge panel just so, and putting all this effort in, Google has been known to eliminate things, change things. There's a kind of capriciousness going on there, and it's obviously a self-interested actor. It's not acting for the benefit of all the businesses. It's doing what it thinks is going to maximize its own benefit and revenue, as the case may be. And so, put this in a larger context. What do people need to do in order to really not, if something dramatic changes and something is eliminated, to not take a terrible hit to their visibility and traffic? What else should they be doing?
Lots of things. If you think about, I talk about people, not platforms. So rather than seeing it in terms of, I get everyone via Google, let's go back to actually understanding who are our people, who are our customers. It's all the basic marketing tenets, but I think we forget about that stuff in many instances. So it's understanding where your people are, why they make the decisions that they do, why they would choose you over a competitor, and all of ththose things. And then just making sure that you understand where those people are, because it might be on, another search engine. It might be that they're on, vertical sites. It might be that they're on Nextdoor. They might be on Facebook. So my piece just explores all of these different channels and platforms that exist. But also just, think about referrals, think about word of mouth, think about every single touch point that you have with a customer, and making sure that they know who you are, what you do. It's like Google could go away at some point. We just need to go back to all of those basics of understanding our marketplace.
I sort of categorized those in my mind this morning. Step one was control your digital assets and keep them someplace other than just Google. Right, you should have all your artwork, your video, photography, locally and elsewhere, because if Google shuts your account off, you're done.
Right, it suspends you.
Suspends you. Right.
Yeah.
And you don't want to lose all that. I saw somebody in the forum the other day, they lost 1,200 images because Google took them out of their local listing and he didn't have them. Develop and maintain close contacts with your customers. Claire made the point of understanding who they are, what they are. But you want to be sure that you gather every time you can. Email, just phone number, SMS.
Yep.
Right, emails and phone numbers. You want to and nurture that relationship. It isn't all one and done, hopefully. And then be sure to maintain the tried and true stuff that we know works. Right, websites, email, texting, first-party reviews, the stuff that we know works and works over, beyond, through, regardless of what Google does. And then this is to Claire's point, to be resilient, trying different services, learn their role in the funnel, understand how your customers relate to these services, so that maybe they're a little more expensive than Google in terms of ROI at the moment, but at least you're aware of them and you're not trying to put a square peg into a round hole. You know that this particular service is good at top of funnel stuff, or this particular service is good at closing, so that you can just sort of be ready for when Google, it's not if Google's going to take away things. It's not if, it's when. We saw in our research again, local service ads attracted 30% of this. When they were showing, it was an equal split between local service ads, organic, and local. Just by putting Google, whatever it's called, Google Guaranteed up there, it changed user behavior significantly. And you rent this space, you don't own it, and the landlord is a dick.
Said Mike Blumenthal.
You can quote me.
That'll be your quote on some 20-foot giant screen at some place, some conference.
Yeah.
We're Mike. Yeah.
Well, you guys haven't said anything about social media. Social media is kind of in the same position as Google is vis-a-vis own versus rent. But Claire, what is your advice on social media, if any?
Again, it's people specific rather than platform specific. I'm not a big user of social media, so if I'm someone's ideal market, then they're not going to be able to track me via TikTok because I only consume TikTok content via Twitter. So again, it's that sort of yes, social media can be a useful route to your marketplace, but it needs to be relevant to your customers.
Okay, that's great. And on that note, what any closing thoughts from either of you on these many and varied topics that we've discussed? Last words of advice.
My advice
philosophical.
Is just listen to whatever. No, mine's very tactical. Listen to whatever Claire says and do that.
Okay, and I'll just read what Mike writes and then talk about it in.
You're just like a customer service company. That's not our problem. You have to talk to this other one. No, we're not responsible for that. Talk to him.
It was Mike. Mike did it.
All right. Well, Claire, thanks so much for being on the Near Memo. A lot of great advice. I mean, obviously, we could go on and on at deeper levels of tactical discussion, but hopefully people have gotten some good tips here, and we will put links to both of these pieces, your slides, and then the article that you wrote for the blog on Bright Local on our transcript when it goes live, probably in the next couple of days, next day or two. So,
and we'll also add a link to Claire's excellent tracking guide.
Exactly. So many Claire Carlisle links that it'll just be a page of links. We're just going to give you a lot of link juice.
Good. I'm all about the links.
May 4th is Claire Carlisle Day.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, thanks again.
May the UTM be with you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Claire. See you next week.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.